And you told me you were going to the East Coast, and I'm thinking East Coast was you about to drop down into one of the boroughs or something, man, in New York. So you went to the East Coast of Canada, am I to be understood?
You are to be understood. That is correct. I went out to Halifax, Nova Scotia, little historical thing. So Halifax and my home country, which is Jamaica, have a little thing. So when you go to Halifax, you're supposed to get screeched in. They say get screeched in. I didn't. I wish I did, but I don't need to be screeched in, and I'll tell you why. So basically, because Nova Scotia and Jamaica are two of the first spots that were found, quote unquote, or happened upon by a certain Mr. Columbus, tripped over, if you will, depending on who you are. End of the day, one of the things that sort of went back and forth between Jamaica and Nova Scotia was codfish and rum. So they got our rum and we got their codfish. So you ever hear ackee and saltfish? That's generally Nova Scotia cod that they're sending up, and we cook it in a certain way with ackee. It's real good. But when you get screeched in, they're pouring you a shot of like Ray and Nephew's rum. I'm actually related to the Ray family, so I've been drinking. He's my uncle. Huh? Hey. So at the end of the day, this liquor will put hair on all sorts of body parts you probably didn't have hair on before. But yeah, it is like drinking absinthe or straight up rubbing alcohol. It's just a punch in the face, raw, 150 proof rum.
So that's damn near grain alcohol.
It might as well be, right? It's crazy, and this is why, like, in Jamaica, you smoke some weed and you drink Ray and Nephews, and you may wind up slicing somebody up with a machete. It's just like how it's like a Sunday night in Jamaica, basically. Like that's what's going down, right? That's what's happening.
You know what? They are serious than machetes, aren't they, man? They're
crazy with the machetes. They're even crazier when they happen to have those two things in tow. So I go out there, I get, hey, here's some screech. I take a shot of the screech. I'm like, yeah, this ain't no thing. They're like, whoa, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm from Jamaica. They're like, oh, okay, get it. And they kind of left it alone right there. So you should get screeched in, but like I've been screeched in more times than you can possibly fathom. But in any event, I'm just saying, if you ever get the chance to go out to the East Coast of Canada, it is effing beautiful. I was quite surprised. Gorgeous out there, rolling hills, waterfront. I could bail out of the part of Canada that I'm in right now and have a real good time over there, because apparently they only get down to -10, which to me, as a real Canadian, is t-shirt weather. So you know what I mean? I can go and live over there anytime. And they're like, oh, but it gets real cold. You get that waterfront wind chill factor too. And I'm like, you have no clue where I'm coming from. I get the waterfront wind chill factor on top of 40 below. I'll eat 10 below all day long. Let's go. So like if you catch me out east, like it is what it is. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Got some swag. I was telling these gentlemen, I got some good eats at some crazy restaurants there on the pier. Man, I walked all over. I was on a boat for a little while. I was boating. It was wild. I had a really wild time. And, shout out to the company. Y'all know who you are. Thanks for representing. And thanks to a certain Mr. Rod Kerr for the dope-ass suite. Hey, man, it was all good.
All you got to do is say pier right about now. And I'm in a space that I can't even describe to y'all, man, because I love water. I especially love Lake Michigan and the Navy Pier. Because it's fresh water, you know what I mean?
Sky, baby, yes.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna put my foot in there and worry about a great white shark. I can get in there and feel good. You know what I mean? So that's a whole thing.
Not far from New England, to be honest with you. I think they're relatively close to New England. So
that's where Jaws lives.
Jaws?
Yeah, that's exactly where Jaws lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yes. The whole movie was filmed there.
Yeah, New England.
Yes. It's
Or
for the
what's
record.
what's the place that Nova Scotia up in that area? And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I was. I was in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's like I said, beautiful.
Mhm.
It was a beautiful country. It kind of reminded me of like a little bit of Jamaica, a little bit of back home, and a little bit of like real back home. So like Ontario meets Jamaica. It was like the weirdest
Jamaica's
thing,
good.
but it
Jamaica's
was
very good.
very good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was good times.
So
Hey,
in
is
case-
that? Hey, I've been chit chatting and I just looked at the screen. Is that the SuperBack? Sean
The
Sierra
SuperBack
down
is
there?
here with us tonight.
it's a very familiar light skinned guy just busted up in this guy.
With a dope hat too.
Yeah, that is a dope hat. What is that, man? Is that a new socks? Logo?
Yes, their new City Connect jerseys are dope. So Reinsdorf owns both the Sox and the Bulls. So they're the new City Connect jersey was kind of an homage to the Bulls. So in the inside of the back collar, it's got the 6 championship dates. It's got the black. It's black. It's red with pinstripes like the unis they had back in '96 through '98.
Mhm.
And they just kind of switched uniform colors. So this is one of the hats. There's actually 3 different hats that they can wear. They have an all black one with a red bill, the same thing, and then they have a black hat with a red bill and a white. I can't remember what this part is called, but it's got two pairs of white socks and it says Southside on it. So yeah,
Is that like a wing or something on there?
yeah, it's just a wing on
Okay.
the white
Yeah.
socks. They can run real fast.
I don't know, Sean, because the Sox and all the Reinsdorf teams have been taking L's, and I don't mean in the standings recently. You know, it was the back in the day. Well, not recently, but back in the day, it was the White Sox fans. You know, the father-son combo that jumped the first base coach from another team before being beat down by the other team's players. And then it was the Bulls fans that made the widow Reinsdorf cry. I'm sorry, the widow what was that fucker's name? Reinsdorf, not Brian.
No, Jerry Krause.
Krause, thank you. Made Krause widow cry because he got booed during a memorial at Atlanta Center. And then recently, a Chicago White Sox fans made Martell cry because he heckled him about his dead mama.
So before you said yes, he did, but he just said he said I called your mother last night or something. Now whether the guy actually knew that his mother had died, I don't know. But it's first of all, it was a little, the way that they made it seem was like he heckled him, like, yeah, your mother's dead, dumbass, your mother's dead, haha, is the way they made it seem. You know what? People said, hey, your mother's just, whatever. People said that in baseball, basketball, football games. They've said that he wasn't. Again, I don't know specifically if he knew that his mother had died. Okay, but if he did not know that his mother died, I mean,
he got banned for like life from the,
from MLB, all major league ballparks. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, I don't know what I started, but when I called you light skin, apparently this is what happened. He said AJ Grizz, y'all light skinned bros at 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91, man. And then Wesley Snipes came.
His black ass.
That is hilarious, man. That is freaking hilarious, man. I love it. All right, man. So, hey, look, man. Sean, what's been going on, man? Because we've been kicking the bobos a little bit, man. What's been going on with you?
Yesterday I threw a party for my mom, her 80th birthday. Her birthday's Tuesday.
All right.
So, man, we had a good time. So I was running around. We had to go get her hair done yesterday morning before the event. She had an all white outfit on with a red little shawl. So I went and got the Jordan 11s with the red Jordan 11s. So she was rocking them, boy. She was rocking them. And everyone was
as the kids say, her fit was tight.
Oh man, I'm telling you. So someone came out. A whole bunch of family was there. She worked 2 jobs for 30 years. One at the Board of Education during the day, and then in the evening she worked at Illinois Bell, which turned into AT&T. Mm-hmm. So we had groups of friends from there as well. We had her CrossFit, the place where she goes to CrossFit, where I go to CrossFit as well. We had her coach, the one who teaches the senior class and her mom, because the mom's in there as well. So we had a lot of people, there yesterday. It was a good time. My mom's gonna be on cloud 9 for about another week. You know, she just loves hanging out with family because she only has one sister left. She's one of 10 kids. She had 10. There were 10 siblings, and there's only 2 left. So and then tons of cousins. So whenever she gets to hang out with family, and then this one was actually honoring her and celebrating her, it was pretty dope. So it was a good time yesterday. It was a daytime thing. It was 1 to 5. Got her drink on, got her eat on, and man, she was happy as a pig in slop. So I'm happy for her. And
hey, when 80-year-olds do CrossFit, they be flipping tractor tires and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Hey, Charlotte, quick question, man.
Yeah,
because I don't know, because we've spoken about this privately. I don't know how open with the world you are about anything mom's related. Have you been open about any of it?
Yeah. Mom said, I have no problem. The thing about it is, she had diabetes, and some of the medications that they were giving her for diabetes really jacked her up physically. All right. Obviously, it was her kidneys were jacked up, or are jacked up, and it brought on the onset of dementia. And so what we're doing is we're trying to reverse that, which we're doing a good job of regaining her cognition, as well as regaining more kidney function. Her kidney function was at 15%. If it goes under 10, is when you need dialysis. The doctor told me that you couldn't reverse kidney disease, and I told her she was wrong. And so all the things that we're doing, I got her kidney function back up to 19% now. So we're doing a lot of holistic stuff to try and help her. And then exercise is a phenomenal thing. That kind of helps with her cognition, obviously with her diabetes. So, so it was really good, for her to be around that type of environment. Like I said, when she's with family and then friends, there are some friends she hadn't seen since she retired from Board of Ed, which is 99, 2000. So, man, I'm telling you, she was just so happy yesterday, and she's happy today. She's on cloud 9 today. So
was she able to recall and remember everybody? Just that's nice.
She's one of the ladies she didn't remember completely, but when I told her, she's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Then she remembered, But sometimes I gotta jog her memory. But
she whispered in your ear, "Damn, she got old."
So it's a lot better than it was before. Man, I'm telling you, it was a lot better than it was before, and so that's why I just had to celebrate her on a big 70th, and that's what I've been doing. That was what I was doing, man. I was setting it up and calling people, calling friends and family, and you gotta love family. Somebody RSVP'd for 8, and they showed up with 2.
I had to approach the conversation that way because I wasn't sure, Sean. That's not for everybody all the time. Everybody's not open about it. But you know who to call, man. As you go through this, man, just know, man, that's definitely not a path you want to try to walk on your own, man. You always got your guy over here, man. You can call me anytime you want to, any hour of the day or night. I might have something I can help you with, man. So,
man, I appreciate that. I do remember that, and I have not forgotten that since you told me that 6-8 months ago. I've never forgotten it. So, but we're doing good. Like I said, a lot of the things, and the great part about it is her CrossFit coach. She actually owns a gym. It's tough on that senior class, boy. She does not play, and she yells at them. She's like, "Look," she goes, "I don't give a damn." She goes, "I'm trying to." She goes, "Maybe you live alone." She goes, "And I'm pushing you because I have you do burpees because I need you to be able to get up off the ground if you fall." She said, "I'm having you do squats because I need you to be able to get up off a chair or off the toilet." So it was funny, and it was really, it's really a good thing the way she pushes the adults, because, like you said, a lot of them live by themselves, and she just needs to make sure that that they're able to survive. And I love it. I love it. I can't really coach my mom because she's not gonna listen to me. Like, Don't mind the fact that I was a strength and conditioning coach for 15 years and a teacher for 15 years and no health and PE. Never mind that. But she'll listen to somebody else. You know how it is. So, and it's good that the coach is really, really tough on her. So, and not just her, but the whole class. And you know, they work on a lot of squats because that's it. That's your life. Because once your legs go and your mobility goes, you're done.
Yep.
You're done.
Mhm.
It's a
I don't
direct
know. You and King, you got some stuff going on with your people? Well, King is saying something here.
Yeah. King reached out to me about some stuff we had talked, and I gave him some information. I just gave him some information about some stuff that he had a family member going through.
Same stuff. Same kind of stuff.
Same kind of thing. Yeah, somewhere in there. So
do me a favor, give King my number too, man. If you ever need anything, you can't reach Sean, you can find me. You can call me. You can call me. I mean, yeah, man, we all need each other. I'm telling you, man. Going through that, and I probably said it 100 times here on the show, man. It is so sacred. But I'll tell you one thing. Trying to do that by yourself I'm going to say it's impossible. Man. You got to have a community to support you. You got to have people that you can lean on, bend the ear. You're going to need some direction at some point or another. Trust me when I tell you, but we can talk about that all night, man. Bless your moms, man. Happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday to you.
I hope she had a good ass time.
To you.
She did. She had, I'm telling you, bro, she had a phenomenal time. She was on cloud 9, man. And when it was just being with family, you know, I was just really, really happy for her. And it's just, I know how she gets, you know, for about a week, she's going to be just loving it, man. And I'm happy. I'm grateful. Her spirits are up. Her, you know, I just sent you a pic if you want to.
Okay.
I just sent you a pic from yesterday. Yeah.
All right.
And, but man, yeah, it's good. And I was happy with a little speech, and you know, I did a little speech. We sang happy birthday to her, and she grew up in that time. So we had a Motown, the whole party. She's a Motown gal, man, and she loves her some Motown, and that's all we played. And it's so funny, the staff who was at Mama Luigi's, big shout out to Mama Luigi's 75th in Harlem. They're like, oh God, this is great music, great. They just loved it. So it was a good time, real good time.
If you don't mind, if you can grab that pic Sean just sent, you want me to put it up?
Yeah, if you want, you can see, you can check it out and check. She's rocking a Jordan 11s, the Reds, white and red.
It's in our email, kids. If you
I don't know what I can do.
So
all right, but hey, while we're doing that, let me ask you guys a very, very general question about the Chicago Bears. We about to get all the way into football. I got a serious question, and I think you can probably answer it two ways. But are you cautiously optimistic about this season, or are you excited, or are you a little bit of both? Individually, how you feeling about this season coming up? Because it's coming fast, kids. Starting with you.
Oh, you probably should have started with anyone but me, because I'm knee deep into looking for Sean's picture.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean. Let Sean go.
I'm somewhere between cautiously optimistic and excited. Leaning more toward excited because the Bears always seem to screw stuff up. All right, they always seem to screw it up. Okay. However, what Ben Johnson has been doing, I played on a lot of championship teams. I've coached a lot of championship teams, and the way he's going about things is the way you build a culture and build a championship program organization. Mm-hmm. And so I love a lot of the things that he's doing. I love the way he's calling people out. I love the way, hey, sink or swim, kid. You're a grown ass man now. So I'm not here to hold your hand. You're a multimillionaire. Okay. You need to man up. And I love that. So I started with Caleb. I don't remember, did I tell you the story? They're in camp one time. time was running out, and he was out of his headphone, out of his the helmet, and he went to walk over, and he's like, "No, stay back there." He goes, "You're out of time." He goes, "Make it happen yourself. You got to figure this stuff out." And she's okay, cool. So he had to, Caleb had to make do, and that's the one thing when you're tough on your toughest player, everyone else falls in line. And I think that's why I'm leaning a lot more toward excited. I'm still cautious, but the way he's building and developing this culture, it's the blueprint for the championship organizations, and I love it. Like I said, I played on a lot of them. I've coached on a lot of them. So yeah, I'm leaning toward excited. I'm really excited. I'd love to see Caleb hit 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns. I'd love to see it. I don't need it. I don't need it for them to be successful, but I'd love to see it. So, yeah.
What say you, Trip?
Of several minds. If anybody has been to Sports Chicago style, you may understand that.
Like 36.
But what was that?
About 36 minds.
Something like that. But cautiously optimistic, because as many times as we've been burned over the last decades that have not produced any winning, Super Bowls. But looking at the iteration of this franchise now, you go out and you get the top guy in Ben Johnson, and he's put together this staff of professionals, old, young, all respected and good at what they do at their crafts. The expectations are higher, even though this is still a first year offense and defense, so there will be growing pains. But the expectation is the coaching staff will be smarter and not shit the bed like the Flus regime, and the accountability for the players will actually be a real thing and not just lip service like the Flus regime. So while trying to be cautious and show me before I buy into it, part of me is like, yo, we got some shit going on up in here. Let's fucking go.
All right, man. I'll go ahead, kids, unless you're ready.
I'm ready, bro.
Go ahead. You take it.
From an expectations perspective, I expect that Ben Johnson is going to right the ship. I don't expect us to, I don't expect him to pilot that ship to the moon just yet, but I expect him to right the ship. I think the ship has been very, it has not been captained correctly for the last little while, and I think we got ourselves a captain. And Sean, you nailed it. Let me yell at the veteran tight end in the first practice,
Right,
and cuss him out and make sure that everybody else knows that this is the new standard. This is where you need to be, and this is how I'm going to toe the line with everybody. I'm going to cuss the quarterback out too. I'll cuss everybody out, because at the end of the day, it's my ass. I came in, you know what I mean? He came in, it's his ass is on the line. It's on the chopping block. And it's not really that he's in a hot seat position. It's yeah, man.
There's a short out I put out of you either today or late yesterday, and when you it was kind of approached, the conversation was kind of approached this way, like, you start hearing, whispers about, hey, he's being hard on Caleb out there, and he just saying whatever to whoever, and you kind of made the statement of, he's got kind of a blank check. That's not exactly what you said, but it alluded to that point. It's like right now you're dealing with there's an empty pallet right in front of you. It's on you. It's incumbent upon you to give direction and give it ferociously and demand it be done this way.
Set your standard. That's it, right? He has to set that
easier
standard.
as a coach or as a teacher. It's easier, and I learned this from one of my favorite teachers, Mr. K, in high school. He was the toughest son of a gun, man. The first month and a half, 2 months of school, tough. I mean, ask no quarter, give no quarter. I mean, it was just hardcore. And then as he realized, as we realized that, all right, he's a tough guy, or he was holding us accountable. he kind of eased up a little bit. And it's much easier to go from being a hard ass to easing up than to be very loose and try and rein
the
it
other way.
Yeah,
It's so well said, Sean. I had the same thing with Mr. Sutherland in English. So I had him in grade 10 and then grade 11 English. He was probably one of the better English teachers. And in grade 10, he didn't care. He wasn't a hard ass at all. It was so we got along really well. Grade 11, different situation. I come in the door and it was on day 1 for the first week. He was an absolute jerk. And the whole time I'm looking at this guy going, this ain't the same guy I had last year. And by the end of the week, he pulled me around the corner and was like, yeah, I just need to get in I just need to get in everybody's ass early so that, you know what I mean? They know what I need them to know. You know me a little bit different. It's cool. We still have the same relationship. I was like, oh, okay, I get you. I got you. That's what Ben, you're bang on. That's what Ben has to do. And he's laying down the law, making sure, again, that standard is what everybody is expected to reach. Therefore, they're all going to strive to reach that standard. And that's job 1 for Ben Johnson, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think, to give Matt Eberflus just an iota of respect, you know what I mean? That's about all that I could give him. But he definitely towed the line and made sure the line was towed on his side of the ball. The other side of the ball, it was a free-for-all. There was no standard there. So here we go. Brand new season, brand new coach, new standard.
But also the great part about it is his assistant coaches, he doesn't, they'll say shit rolls downhill, but he don't, you understand, Eric Bieniemy's a son of a gun. All right. We knew that for years. All right. Antoine Randall is a son of a gun. All right. You see how crazy and intense he gets. He got with his receivers in Detroit. And then you got Al Harris. All right. You got all the assistant coaches who don't even need that type of pressure from Ben Johnson. They're going to get it, but they don't need it because this is who they are and this is how they coach. And that, to me, it's giving me goosebumps on my arms right now just talking about and thinking about the way that these guys are being coached. They're being coached hard. You're not babies. You're not in college. All right? You're multimillionaires. Man the freak up. And I love it. I love it. This is a performance-based business, and I need you to perform or we're going to find somebody else. End of story. I love it. I'm telling you, the goosebumps on my arms, man. I love it.
See, that's where the excitement comes in.
Yes, Trip. Yes. That's why I said I'm leaning a lot more toward excitement.
Well, I'm this, man. I'm definitely a whole bunch of both of them. I'm definitely excited, cautiously optimistic too. Why am I cautiously optimistic? Number one is because I know we're getting ready to go into the second year for a quarterback who's learning a second offense. I know I've repeated that too many times on the show, but it's important to understand from a fan's perspective, which I am, just like everybody else is. We're all fans, but we get so excited that we expect this greatness to just bust out of the seam right away, and that's just not realistic. The truth is, what we're going to be talking about tonight, and that's the defense and how the defense will help this team, because the roster is studded. I don't think the team has any choice but to be good, as studded as this roster is, and I think it's going to get better before we even start the season. It'll be cuts, it'll be some additions, maybe, or one or two of them that happens, however it goes. But the thing about Ben Johnson, this dynamic between Ben Johnson and Caleb, I want that guy to be so hard on Caleb to where he almost hates him. And
Caleb wants it hard, though.
No, did he? He does.
Man, you had to do it. I was like,
careful what you wish for, man, because it's going to be Ben Johnson sounds so obsessive over little small things, little details that I don't think are small things. I think the little.
That's where the devil is, though. Yeah. And the details.
Yes.
The details, the fringes is where you win games.
Yes.
When crunch time comes to it, when it's time to put up or shut up, the details matter. Just that little edge is the difference between a win and a loss.
I just want that guy. I just want that guy to be obsessive with Caleb about making sure his foot, he just listens to the rhythm of his feet. Because once he listens to the rhythm of his feet, and he knows once he hits that backdrop, that back foot hits, let that thing ride. You know, he's never going to try to take away the natural Caleb Williams, you know. And I was just saying this the other day, Sean. I think it's going to be like a 1 or 2 read situation until he gets a real grasp on the situation.
It should be one read, 2 read, go.
Yep.
Just go. And we're not asking you to be Justin Fields. We're asking you to move the chains, slide. All right, keep that. The thing you want to do is keep that defense pissed. Just so freaking pissed because, damn it, it was 3rd and 8 and he got 9. Damn it, it was 3rd and 7, he got 8. All right, and all because he scrambled, slid, end of story, and boom. And now you get demoralized because you're about to come off the field. Damn, now we got to run at least another set of downs, another 3 plays, at least another 3 plays. And the more that happens throughout the game, the more demoralized defenses get. And you're right. I think it's 1 read, 2 read, go. 1 read. And as the season goes on, I think after, say, game 10, he might be okay. Maybe you can read a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
But that upgraded offensive line, I don't know if they're gonna have. It's gonna be 1 read, 2 read, go. I think he might be able to go 1 read, 2 read, 3 read, then go. That upgraded offensive line is gonna give him some time. And if after that 3rd read you got to go, then you got to go. But I think that upgraded offensive line is going to give him a little more, another second to 2 seconds to make reads. Because you know what I said? I want to see him flat-footed at times. I want to see him flat-footed like Tom Brady, drop back there, his old ass back there, like no, 1, 2, 3.
That's the thing, though, Sean. The only thing about that is until we figure out if we figure out who that left tackle is going to be sooner than later, the faster they can get up to speed. And I know they'll be good once they have enough time on grass together. You know, putting in those reps, getting those out of the way. Now you got to feel for the guy next to you. You know how to play with him. You know what I mean? And now you're not stumbling over each other, wondering about what you're going to do in this situation or that situation. The faster they get to a resolution there, I think that line is going to be great. As a matter of fact, I think it will be.
Yeah.
And it's a long time since we've said we've had a great offensive line in Chicago. But I think from what I can, gather, I know we're supposed to be talking about defense, but here we are talking about offense. I think it has the potential to be a really, really, really good offensive line once they spend enough time together on the field. So it's just it's a matter of reps at this point.
Yeah, the last time we had a good offensive line was
I think Olin Kreutz is still on the line, brother. I think Olin Kreutz is still on the line.
Yeah, I think Olin was still there, and Kyle Long was there when Kyle Long was making a Pro Bowl. Dude, I thought he made a Pro Bowl at right guard, right tackle, left guard, left tackle, center, swing. He made a Pro Bowl at swing tackle. I was like, damn, dude, he can play everything.
He must have been pissed at the end of his Chicago tenure because they had him on every position on the line, man. He was all over the map.
Yeah. And I think the guard slot had him the best we could move. But yeah, that was probably the last time we had a really good offensive line. Because that's when we had Forte. Do you know that like the 2013 team?
Yeah.
Every single member of that offense had made or was about to make or was what would make the Pro Bowl at one point in their career or another, and we couldn't get it done. That was Brandon Marshall, also Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett.
It's a good squad, man.
Yeah, and all of them hadn't made it. Like Cutler made it as an alternate his first couple of years. Marshall was a perennial Pro Bowler. All of them had made it or were about to or would have made it in the next couple of years, and we still couldn't get it done.
Okay, one last question, and this is a general team question before we get all the way into this defensive stuff. Is there anything that you're afraid of or / worried about going into the season? Anything? Yeah, it can be anything. We can all have the same thought, but what's your thoughts, kids? We'll start with you and go around that way.
You know what it is, man? Like, it's so funny. Last year, this time, I would be saying, man, we got to get that edge rusher. And the situation still isn't as obviously rectified as I would like it to be. But that's not my complaint this time around. My complaint is I just don't know about the running back situation. That's my complaint. I thought it was kind of an obvious thing they needed to go into this offseason and fix. They didn't really fix it. Fix the O-line, though, fingers crossed, I'd like to hope. And if they were able to actually do that, that may pay dividends with respect to the running back situation. It's just a question mark for me, though. That's my question. I'm not sure if we're in good hands in the running back room or if we need a hand in the running back room. I don't know.
John?
I'm not really worried about anything. I'm just worried about it all all developing.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about. I'm worried about the all coming together. Caleb getting it down, the offensive line getting it down, getting that rep, getting that continuity. I'm not worried about the running. I'm telling you, I'm not worried about the running back position. I'm telling you, Kyle Monungai is a poor man's Ashton Genty. Poor man. You lead the Big Ten in rushing the season prior. All right, you led second in the Big Ten this past season. The Big Ten ain't the Big Sky. All right, that's the big boy football. And you lead the team you lead that in rushing. That's impressive. That's impressive. So he just don't have that speed. He just doesn't have that speed. He went to Rutgers. I mean, Rutgers isn't a football school. All right, so I'm just worried about everything. How long is it going to take for everything to click? And I'm saying 10 after week 10. Week 10, and again, it's not going to be as good as it's going to be for the 26th season. Don't get me wrong. Exactly. But I think we're going to be like, whew, okay, we're going to start to see what this offense could really do starting week 10. All right, in their first year.
All right.
Ron Lewski. That's a
all my concern is just stay healthy. Everything else will work itself out because we got the athletes, we got the coaches. Just let them be all on the field and put it together. But that leads me into this question that I was saving specifically for the SuperBack here, but I can't find the video. But we've played it before. It's a little clip of Eric Bieniemy overseeing running back drills.
Mm-hmm.
And the drill was there's a pad, they would step to the left and cut up field. And all of the
bags, and then I remember.
Right. And all of the running backs were leading with their left foot, their outside foot. But when Monungai did it, he crossed over behind with his right foot over the pad. And he was very fluid with it. But he was using I don't want to say wrong foot, but he was using his right foot where all of the other running backs were using their left foot to go, over that pad. Bieniemy didn't correct him or say you're using the wrong foot. So is he using the wrong foot? Does it matter, or is that just his thing?
No, it doesn't matter, especially if you have quick feet. All right. When you're leading when you're going, first of all, it's a drill. It's a drill. All right. You can't say it's wrong. In a drill, you can say, I want you to lead with your right foot. Okay. And if you lead with your left, yes, it's wrong. But in the heat of the game, get to where you got to go. Get to where you got to go. And if you lead with the right foot, lead with the left, and you get to where you get. I mean, what's he going to do? Yell at him? I need you to take that right. No, I need the left foot to make and the guy scores a touchdown. You know what I mean? So but you're working on muscle memory so you can lead with right foot or left foot going either way, up, forward, backward, or side to side. You got to work on both feet so you're comfortable with it. That's all. So no, there's not necessarily a wrong way to do it. All right. But it's not necessarily a wrong way to do it. He's just working on making sure that you're able to lead with each foot, because at some point you have to lead with and make sure that you have the proper footwork to plant. That's the most important thing, is the planting part to cut. And if you lead with the opposite foot, you might have to take an extra step, or lead with the wrong foot, so to speak. You might have to take another quick boom, a little chop step in order to make the cut.
Well, but the interesting thing about it to me was his fluidity with leading with his right foot, crossing behind his left foot, and jumping over the back. So he's doing a step behind jump over, and he was very fluid with it. And it was like, wow, that's very twinkle-toesy on his feet.
Do you remember Michael? You remember Jamal Wilkes from the Los Angeles Lakers?
Lakers.
Seen him on film.
Jamal Wilkes.
Yeah.
All right. He had this unbelievably ugly ass shot. You would never teach a kid in your life to shoot like that. But it got him to the NBA. Sometimes people are good at what it is that they do. It's not technically
Sound,
top of, form. Your form, you're not fundamentally sound, but they're just so good at it that it works for them.
As long as it works, it works.
And you don't want to mess with it, which leads me to the conversation.
Worse than Cartwright, he said.
Joakim Noah's jump shot
behind his head.
Yeah, he a whirly bird around his head.
Yes, whirly bird. Yeah, yes, exactly, Nomad, exactly.
Joakim Noah.
So that brings me to the conversation about why I'm cautiously optimistic, and the part about if I worry about anything, it's about them changing Caleb's footwork, changing his left foot up instead of the right foot up, which he's done for probably the past 15 years or so, all of his life, all of his football life. I understand. First, let me say this. I understand why he would be asking him to change his footwork up, put the left foot up. It's going to help him get to the throw faster. Probably a half a second faster. I don't know. But I can understand that totally. But my question about it is how fast will Caleb get accustomed to that muscle memory? Or when he starts to struggle a little bit or get a little bit, nerved up because maybe the rush is getting in, will he go back to his old stuff? Will it cost him on the timing of the routes? That kind of thing. It's a small thing, but to me, it's huge. Because, you've been doing something for 15 years or so. You're going to definitely notice the difference. Anybody can respond to that. But that's the only real thing I'm worried about is how fast can he get accustomed to the footwork being changed? Can you get that going pretty quick and it not bother you? Everybody thinks it's just football. Nah, it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah, he can do it. It's not that big of a deal. It's muscle memory. And what does it say? 28 days to create a new habit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day.
You got to.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Every single day. And I can guarantee you, if he's as committed as he should be, he's doing that shit at home. Just 1, 2, 3, boom. That's it. That's a 1, 2, 3 slant. All right. 1, 2, 3. Even just messing around. 1, 2, 3, boom. Leading that and dropping that right foot back. Okay. Yeah, he's doing it at home. And muscle memory. And you're gonna form that habit quick. All right. And he's been doing it every day. Ben, and again, the way Ben is coaching him and demanding from him, Caleb I believe, is going to respond well. Championship athletes, say what you want. Championship athletes, winners, love to be coached hard.
Hey,
I don't
Sean,
give a damn what sport it is. Winners love to be coached hard. Tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can get it right. Tell me, because I want to dominate. I want to be the best. And the only way I can be the best is you tell me whenever I'm doing something wrong so I don't let that happen again. And that's
learn from your mistakes. A billion %.
And that's the way that Ben Johnson's coaching. Like, nope, not good enough. Do it again. Remember the one time I don't know if you saw, they were talking, they were like, oh, what happened on that one where he hit the check down? I was like, nope, you got to get it out sooner. Nope, you did wrong read. You got to get it out sooner. And that's the type of pressure he's keeping on Caleb and putting him on Front Street. Caleb knows I got to get it out sooner. And this is what people who want to be great, they welcome this. When you have coaches who don't give a damn and aren't coaching you like last year, you kind of hate them and you really don't like them. And I've had coaches like that.
Sean,
I'm cool. I think he's going to learn it quickly, Nomad. It's that muscle memory. He's been doing it for how long? How long since when did we draft him? When was his first time in camp? I think he might have it down now. Pretty close.
Sean, I'm with you. With the real ones want to know what they're doing wrong and they want to be told.
Yeah.
I was funny. I was about to be funny. I was just like, you can tell me whatever, just don't get in my face with that hot ass breath. Fuck away from me, man.
No, well, you see, dude, that's you, man. Even in business, I'm the type of dude who's like, look, if I'm making a mistake, it's so funny, man, because I'm making a bunch of mistakes in my new job. I'll just lay it down now, man. There's all kinds of mistakes that are being made, and I had to, me going to the East Coast and meeting folks for the first time. I'm like, look, just put me on blast. It's cool. You know what I mean? Cuss me out as you see fit. All I know is I'm gonna bring in more deals, more paper, and we're all gonna be happy. But the process stuff, that ain't really me. It'll take me a little while to figure all that out on the back end. I'll get to it. The other part of all this, like if we're drilling down to Caleb Williams, you kind of want him in his own head a little bit, just a little bit. And I've been thinking about this because this is what Ozzy Trapillo said, and they're questioning him being on the left as opposed to being on the right, and how is he getting used to it, etc. And he was like, the upside to sort of doing it now is that I got to think about doing it. And as I'm thinking about doing it and make sure that I cover the details and I'm doing the right thing, as opposed to just going off of instinct. So he's like, I'm doing the right stuff and it's working out quite well for me. And I'm just going to build on that and continue to do that. And that's kind of what we sort of want from Caleb. We want Caleb in his brain thinking, 1, 2, 3, go. Just as you're saying, Sean, in his head, that's what it has to be. Left foot back, 2 steps, bang. That's the dance. That's the move I need to be pulling off, and those details need to be going through my head the entire time. Once I'm done,
it's
a whole other story.
I was gonna say something, kids, real quick. If I was Ben Johnson, I'd have Tony Medlin on a secret assignment. If that motherfucker was to go to put right foot in first in the goddamn hot tub, Tony slapped the shit out of him.
Hey, kids, pull up the video I just sent you there on X. Don't worry, no Matt. There's no music. And Caleb Williams.
Look at it.
Oh no, I see. Okay, yeah, I've seen this too. Yeah, you're
pull right up there. All right, so his whole thing is, the Superman thing, the jump passes and all that good stuff. That's fine, but the details of just the basics, the little things that maybe he doesn't know because he hasn't had to learn them to be a professional. This is his second year, third offensive coordinator. He has to learn how to be a professional. And he has to want to better himself. And everything that I've heard, seen about him, he fits that profile. So, I mean, you see the footwork there. Can we tell any difference from last year? Does it look smooth? What are we doing?
It looks clean.
Throw it up again there, kids, real quick.
Okay.
So it looks like he's putting in the work and he's learning.
It's a 5-step drop on the ones he's working on. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bounce, throw. 3, 4, 5, bounce, boop, there, throw. See that? 3, 4, 5, bounce, throw.
Mm-hmm.
Everything looks good when it's on air. It's about when you get in the middle of a game. Do you stick with the fundamentals, or do you get away from them because, all right, I'm a little flustered right now? This is always going to look good, in the off season. Right. I just hope it looks really clean right here, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, is it, a good spacing? He's not tripping over his own feet. Good. Just to put that into the muscle memory. So when the season does get here, he's not thinking about it. It's just a natural reaction that the body knows what to do.
Yeah. It takes a little doing, just like anything else. The first time I started working, I remember I broke my arm, and I couldn't help but want to play basketball even with a broken arm, and I wanted to play, and I went out there and I learned how to play with my left hand and got pretty damn good at it, so it's out of necessity that people tend to.
You shooting with your left hand? Shooting?
Oh yeah, I can get it.
Or draw or laying up. You shooting?
I can shoot, dribble, everything.
Ambidextrous.
Well, everybody should be. You can't be on a basketball court. You can't dribble.
I can play ping pong with my left or right hand. I can shoot pool with my left or right hand.
I used to have a friend of mine, a buddy of mine, who lived on the next block, and he was a couple years younger than me. And the one thing, and when I needed to work on my left hand, I'd hold my hand behind my back. So if I had
your right hand,
yes, I would grab my a belt loop, and I would try, and everything I tried I could do with my right hand. I tried to dip in and out. I'd have to do all that. And he was short. He was smaller than me, and so he was very, very quick. So I had to literally work on putting it behind my back or back between my legs or putting it around them or crossing over. I have to cross over real quick and then come back, things like that. So yeah, you just force yourself to do that. And I was able to a good left hand. I didn't never shot it left-handed, but I could layups, no problem.
I was just gonna say I can't shoot with my left hand for the life of me. But
it's like kids, it's like out of necessity. Sometimes, unfortunately, in life, a lot of people tend to get better when they're forced to. Like how many people
the mother of invention.
Yes. Like how many people that have gone to prison and just couldn't get right on the streets, and it took them to go to prison to get their life right. And now all of a sudden they come out this super positive person that wants to change the world. That mother of necessity Sean just spoke to.
Well, I was thinking more of like people born with no arms that learn how to drive and do everything with their feet.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
that's pretty wild.
That's a little more mother of necessity.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know, Jay Grizz. I don't know if there are a lot of people in Caleb's ear, because the only person who should be in Caleb's ear is Ben. You should be the only person. And if the offensive coordinator Declan is in his ear, it better be from stuff that Ben said.
Well, and JT, Mr. Barrett.
Everything better be right from Ben's mouth. Right now, I think Ben should be the only one talking to him. All right, you warm him up, you work on his 3-step foot, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, but everything else, Ben needs to be talking.
I think where they're going with this is the fact that Caleb is definitely working with somebody that's not the coach. There ain't no coach out there with him right now. He's somewhere in Florida or somewhere, and he's got some quarterback coach with him. I think what you're trying to get at is hopefully Ben Johnson gave him some kind of constitution. This is what you should be doing, and whoever it is that you're working with, make sure you focused on this. I think that's important.
Once you get to that level where he is, can't you just hire a coach? A personal coach.
But you can hire a coach, but Ben's going to want to make sure that whatever coach you hire is in lockstep with what he's teaching.
Oh yeah, definitely. They would, not to coach his own thing or freelance, but to here's the agenda. Here's what I want Caleb to learn this summer. Go. And so now Caleb has that actual professional coach there, saying, all right, here's what we're working on, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can do that. And then there's a lot of good quarterback coaches who really work on the fundamentals. I have one of my former teammates has been JJ McCarthy's quarterback coach since he was in 6th grade. So it's all fundamentals. So that's a guy that who's gaining like a really, really great reputation around the country. So, you get one of these guys, and as long as Ben is familiar with this particular person, he said, hey, you know what, Caleb, go work with this guy in the offseason because I can't be there, due to league rules, player association, policy, I can't be there, but go hire this guy, and he can, they can do that, and they probably do.
All right,
well, man. That's why, seeing that as we slide over the defense, when we saw that tape of Big Dex, Grady Jarrett, Hardy, and somebody else, they were in Florida at some camp, but it wasn't like, they were in a park. They were in a facility. Mm-hmm. Tight end university is a place that, tight end coaches and tight ends go. The quarterback aspect of it, meaning that in the professionals, there should not be any just freelancing or not knowing what to do. They have the access to the professionals to come in and say, hey, here's what we need to work on. Here's the chef, here's your meal plans. Here's your workout regimen, your weights, your Pilates, your yoga, the whole nine for the holistic body, mind and soul to prepare for the football season. So you utilize those agencies and those professionals in those aspects away from the team because of the league rules.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the players would have to pay for it because because if I don't know if the team could pay for it. I think the players would have to pay for it. But you're making millions of dollars.
That's a tax write-off right there.
It is. It is. And it's, how much can you charge? $250, $250 an hour. All right, you're just signed a $25 million signing. Got a $25 million signing bonus. I think you can afford $250 an hour. If it's that crazy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, but either way, and we're definitely about to swerve to some defense. Either way, Caleb at some point, and it won't. Maybe it's not this year, maybe it's next year or the year after that. But when you get people that work with you off season in the off season that aren't your coaches, you're gonna pretty much be dictating that whole training session. All right. I'm working on this. I'm working on that. Watch my footwork. Watch.
Yeah.
You just basically having an extra set of eyes. Hey, how did this look? Tell me what it was. At that point, that's when you really advance in whatever you're doing, where you don't need that quarterback coach's advice on how to even set up your training sessions and things like that. So that's just where he is in his career. He could probably use a tip or two from somebody that's out there, but hopefully he just being loyal to whatever constitution that Ben gave him. Hey, man, make sure you're working on this. I don't care what you're doing, but make sure you're focusing on this, that, and the third. And I think that's the most important thing.
I don't think he has a choice, just with respect to some of the concerns Jager's had in the chat there. I don't think he really has a choice. I think, and I don't think that Case Keenum is going to be, starting anytime soon for the Chicago Bears. I doubt that he'll really even get the opportunity to do so at all. But what he will do is be able to say, hey, here's what your coach is asking you to do, and show that on the grass, right? And if that's right in front of Caleb Williams, it's up to him to now be able to learn from the guy who's in front of him and utilize that. So all of these things sort of trickle down from the coach, right? What are we trying to accomplish here? Go out there and do it. If you can't do it, Case, go show him how it's done. Now can you do it, and can you learn from Case? Same conversations is what he's going to be having with his other quarterback coach, with Declan Doyle, right? These are all guys that Ben Johnson sort of from the top down can go, wait a minute, I want him to do this as opposed to what you're talking about, and he can breathe fire. You know what I mean? Shit rolls downhill, as we were saying a little bit earlier on.
Yeah. All right. Let's swerve to the defensive side of the ball. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna work from the lower rung of the spectrum, and we're gonna start building our way up to where we want to go. But I'm gonna start the conversation off like this. I do think, Sean, you might be surprised at some of the stuff I'm gonna say here. I'll give you a little tip. I think one of our key cogs in the middle of the defense, and you can do you got a good enough mind to figure out where I'm going. Said this a few times on the show. I think it's going to end up being the anchor of the second unit. So Andrew Billings, we're going to get to that conversation a little bit later on. I think he's going to anchor the second unit on this team, and I think that's a great thing. Now, but let's start on the lower end of the spectrum for one of these running backs that I've been paying a little bit more attention to, and that is Power Echols out of North Carolina. I do think whenever new coaches come in, especially defensive guys, that front four and those guys up front and the guys behind them are basically they're the nuts and bolts to what keeps this thing together. The guys on the perimeter, your safeties, your corners, are the ones that kind of put a cap on the situation. They kind of glue it. They kind of glue the situation. They're the adhesive to the whole thing. But the nuts and bolts that keep everything grounded are the front four and the three linebackers, or two linebackers, however many you're playing with. Now, Power Echols, I believe, and I'm gonna give you a hot take right now. There's somebody on this roster, and I don't think it's like one of your guys like Amy. I think Power Echols is gonna make his way to this roster, and I think he's gonna do it through special teams. He's gonna work his way up. But I don't think it's gonna be as easy as people might think, because I do think that guy Carl Jones that we drafted a couple years or picked up a couple years ago as a UDFA, I think that guy's better than we think. His speed is outstanding. Tackling ability is outstanding. I think this camp defensively is going to show us some things. But Power Echols from North Carolina, I think, is going to find his way on this team somehow, some way. I think he's going to make this roster. Kids, it's on you.
I don't know. You get deep with it, man. You get deep with it. I'm not sure what Power Echols is going to bring to the table. We're still trying to figure out. We're still trying to figure out. Is Noah Sewell going to bring something to the table? Is Hippolyte going to bring something to the table over and above Noah Sewell? And yet alone, that's behind Tremaine as well as behind TJ, and there's also Amon Agbagbamiga, and
We're talking about 6 and 7, kid. We're talking about probably keeping. I think on the high end we keep 7. On the low end of it, we keep 6. It's going to always be a pair.
Well, but that's the thing, though. What kids are saying is, well, just real quick, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Ruben Hippolyte, Swayze Bozeman, Carl Jones, Power Echols, Noah Sewell, Amen Agbagbamiga. Go ahead, kids.
Yeah, so wrapping that into a ball, that's what we're looking at. I don't know, I don't know who winds up being the remaining 2 in this thing, and I might also say that I kind of feel like the linebacker group might be the smaller of the groups in the end of all of this. I love what we have in the secondary. I love what we're looking at now. With respect,
what do you mean by small? You saying one of the weaker units?
Not weaker. I mean, as in
less personnel.
Less personnel. Thank you, sir. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. I have a strange feeling that, like, in somewhere here, you know, a position group is going to lose some humanity. I have a strange feeling that group is the linebacker group. I
carry an extra defensive lineman or extra DB.
I think they're going to carry both of those a fair amount more so than at the linebacker.
Detriment of the linebacker room.
It's more a conversation. It's more than just a linebacker conversation. We're talking about the special teams. We're talking about that.
Well, that's the thing, though.
I'm glad that you're saying that.
But the thing is, with Dennis Allen and the defense he runs, looking at what building off of what kids are saying, you got the D line. Those are your fat boys, your big trench guys. So, do you want more linebackers or more defensive backs who can cover tight ends and fill for the run because of the style of defense that Dennis Allen calls?
So let me get to your special team situation. And to me, that speaks to Daniel Hardy. Daniel Hardy is a proven special teamer. He will play at the edge. They're now considering him as well, potentially at the linebacker position, just to get him on the field because he's impressing folks. All of those same things can be said about Amon Agbagbamiga, and that's why they paid him money, right? So those 2 guys, to me, I think are your 2 consummate special teamers with respect to the linebacker core. I'm still trying to figure out who the other linebacker is going to be. Like those are the 4 to me. It's TJ, Tremaine, Amon, and likely Daniel Hardy if he's a linebacker this time around.
Yeah, I think
I would add on Ruben
to be a linebacker.
Well, they've been testing him out there. Maybe he's still at the edge, but I think they keep him as that special teams guy regardless, right? I think he makes this team. Then we're looking at the 3 guys I just named. And you may want to throw Carl Jones in there, but Ruben Hippolyte, Noah Sewell, Power Echols, and Carl Jones. I'm ignoring Swayze Bozeman purposefully. You know what I'm saying? Like, purposefully I am.
He was brought here specifically to play special teams, I think.
Yeah, from KC.
That makes
but the thing is, if you're looking at Power Echols, you know, that we're talking about, and his competition is Noah Sewell, it would seem as though Sewell would be more of the bubble guy because he's previous regime, you know, not a Dennis Allen approved pick, maybe like Power Echols, as well as, you know, how far are we from having to pay Noah Sewell again, you know, re-sign him.
Good point.
And he ain't did not a damn thing since he's been here. So, you know, if you're looking at Power Echols versus Noah Sewell, you know, Sewell has the advantage because he's been in the league and knows the speed and all that good stuff. But as far as this defense goes, they're both starting out on the same foot. As far as this regime goes, Power Echols, I would think, has the upper hand.
Dante Purified, that's wildness to me, bro. That's crazy talk because that kid, I ain't saying he's the greatest edge rusher or linebacker or what have you. All I can tell you is when there's a football on the field, he does his damnedest to be near that situation. Whether that's special teams or whether he's playing at the edge or what have you.
Yeah, he's a football player.
He's a player, man.
Well, let Sean get a take in here, man. If you got anything on this, talking about power echoes and that linebacker rotation.
Well, the linebacker rotation, Dennis Allen likes to bring 5. So whereas he's not going to bring extra linemen. So I think it's going to be a good chance for Noah Sewell to kind of regain some faith in him, because his junior year or the year prior, his senior year, his last year at Oregon, he had a subpar year. Well, part of it that people don't understand is that they got a new system and they played him out of position. The year before, he was in a different system that he'd been in for a couple of years, and obviously being familiar with it, he had a much more productive season. So now, here's basically someone said it in the chat: put up or shut up for Noah Sewell, because that dude was. If you look at his last 2 seasons, or the second to last season in college at Oregon, he was everywhere. So can he be that dude that likes to come on extra pressure, or is Hippolyte's 4.4 speed, 4.3, is it 4.39 speed he had?
4.39. Yeah, 4.39.
4.39 speed. Dude, I know he's undersized, but you ain't used to, if you're an offensive tackle or a guard, you ain't used to somebody with a 4.39 speed running by you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different thing, especially if he's nimble. Like if he's able to dip that shoulder, that near shoulder, or slide on that knee past you.
He's gone.
If you've ever seen a 4.39, it's a whole different thing when you're used to 270, 280, 300-pound dudes coming at your face and trying to go by you, and linebackers running by you. All right, it's a whole different thing when a 4.39 speed is by you. It is it can be a big wake-up call. Like, God bless it. That was like beep beep. It's literally what's gonna happen. So I think Hippolyte's
runner.
Yeah,
right?
He's gonna have a big advantage because he is this regime's pick. So I think Hippolyte definitely makes it, and
Sean,
Sewell's gonna have to pay out of his ass.
I don't think people really 100% get that. We're talking about a guy that's 236 running a 4.3. This guy is
and he was bringing it. He was there in Maryland. He was bringing it with the sticks. So he's fast and physical.
Yeah.
And it was Travis Gibson.
Travis Gibson.
Dante Purify asked who was the guy that got cut a couple of years ago that everybody was really upset because he had a good preseason. I think that's Terrell Lewis.
Yes.
Mistaken.
I don't know why they cut him. He was, man.
It must have been some kind of personality thing or something was going on, but it didn't make any sense whatsoever. Yes, Michael Carson is a 4.3. Yeah.
There seemed to be a lot of that with the Flus.
All right, so let's get to the next guy, man. Let's keep it rolling. Xavier Carlton, 6'7", 275 pounds, fits right on in a big edge group room. And a lot of people will be like, "Yeah, we got enough big edge rushers, man. We need to get some guys that can really, really, some smaller guys." I think it's a lot of that out there in the Bears, ecosystem that feel like, okay, we need some pure pass rushers. Man, number one, you got to be able to stop the damn run before you get a chance to even earn a right to rush the passer. Xavier Carlton from California, I think that's a guy to really, really pay attention to, because there's a guy on the team that is definitely on the bubble, and that is Dominique Robinson. Dominique Robinson, you talking about put up or shut up. Hey, if he doesn't, when those pads go on in the first week or so, if he doesn't perform in the first week or so, I'm not talking about 2-3 weeks in the pad. I'm talking about the first week. If he doesn't,
very short runway.
If he doesn't get around that corner and make plays on the ball or on the quarterback, he might not make it through camp. That's how strong. I heard a lot of good stuff about Dominique Robinson this OTA session. But when the pads come on, let's see if he can sustain that. But Xavier Carlton fits exactly with what not Ben Johnson, but Dennis Allen wants. I've said that for months. So I think Xavier Carlton is the guy to pay attention to as well.
with one of those guys, you really have to be. You got to show that your motor doesn't stop. You got to show that you're just not beatable. I mean, not blockable. You know, you just have to. You know, you have to when you're you're not a draft pick and you're an undrafted free agent and you're you have to do something to stand out. You know what I mean? You have to. You have to, and good luck to him. Because if you can be that dual threat, by that I mean stopping the run and rushing the passer, man, I'm telling you, you're gonna make a lot of money, but you got to do something initially. Like you got to go by Ozzie Shapiro. All right, you got to go by Darnell Wright, and you got to make life a living hell for them, and get them yelled at by the offensive line coach. Somebody block, because they'll be like, somebody block this undrafted free agent. Come on, first rounder. You can't block this undrafted free agent. They're gonna come at you. You got to get to the point where they're giving Darnell Wright some flack because he keeps beating Darnell Wright. And that's how you make a name for yourself. So at 6'7", 270, this guy's got a lot of work to do. But
he's powerful as dog shit, Sean. He's very powerful, man. I mean, extremely powerful. And anyway, that's a guy that I touted a lot before the draft, and we ended up getting him as a UDFA. Maybe I'm laying it on a little thick, but I do think there's something to that guy that I think this coach is going to like.
Yeah. Before you go, kids, just putting it out there, the direct competition that Xavier Carlton is battling against for the, let's call it the fringe defensive line spot, fellow UDFA Jeremy Robinson and the aforementioned Dominique Robinson and probably Jamri Chroma. Go ahead, kids. Or
you went right down the line where I was going, right? So those four guys will be battling it out. I expect, obviously, Montez Sweat will be the left. Deo will likely be the right. Big Samo's out there. Shout out to the Sam.
What up, Sam?
So you got Austin Booker backing them up. You've likely got Daniel Hardy backing them up. I don't know which one of these guys winds up being the guy. I like Xavier Carlton's measurables. I think they're a little bit interesting at the position. But as down on Dominique Robinson as I've been over the past few years, because he just hasn't been getting anything done. He does not have a bag of tricks. Maybe he does now, right? So they are talking about him. We'll see what he looks like in pads. I'm interested. Did he figure a little bit of this out? Does he have a speed to power move now? Like maybe he's got some bull rush capability with a little bit more strength. There's some things that I think he might be able to bring to the table in year 3 after sort of watching it, sort of happen around him. I think maybe he has some tricks and some tools in that bag now. So let's I'm giving Dominique Robinson the benefit of the doubt, but he's got a couple of human beings to get through just to get on the field as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's some good, I'd say some better. It's the situation is a little bit better than I think people think at edge rusher. It just depends on your flavor. You know what I mean? I think we need this. I think we need that. By the way, Obo Oka something from Cleveland.
Say that 3 times fast.
I cannot. Cleveland got cut a few days ago, man. That's a good piece to add to the. It's a nice little mixture of free agent edge rushers out there in case they don't see what they're looking for in camp. There are options out there. Guys that are going to be waiting all the way through camp and won't get signed until the last week of camp or something like that. But there are guys out there, if they don't see what they need to see on that field during training camp. I'm like this when it comes to the edge rusher. I'm a wait and see kind of guy. You know what I mean? They got these guys in this building for a reason. Let's see what happens. They put them under some different tutelage. Let's see what happens if they put them in a different system. Does the system really fit them? Is this Dennis Allen type style beneficial to the skill set that individual has? Because they all have different kinds of skill sets, except for like 3 of them. And they're the really big ones, you know what I mean? So the other guys have some dexterity to them. I would just say that. But let's move on.
Well, hold on before you go. Is let's see. Jeremy Chroma is Samo's guy. You know, he's got his money on him,
since we got him.
right? But now let's say you match up Booker on your NASCAR defensive line package and bring in his college Jayhawk teammate of Jeremy Robinson. You know, they can get after the quarterback. But the question I have about Xavier Carlton with his size and his lack of speed, and I think Levante said his lack of bend, is he a defensive end or is he an edge?
We talking about Jeremy Robinson?
No, Xavier Carlton.
Xavier, he's pure edge rusher and probably more of a run stopping edge rusher than a pure pass rusher. I would, if that's what you want to know.
Well, okay. So he's a defensive end, or no. So you're saying he's a? Did you say pass rusher, or did you say
he's a run stopper more than he is a pure pass rusher?
So more defensive end than
more defensive end than edge.
Yeah. He's a guy that when Montez goes out, the big edge rushers like you put him in and kick Dio on the inside if you want to have a big edge group out there. You know what I mean? To kind of defend the run in case they run a draw play or some shit like that. That's the kind of mixture you want on the field. So I think he can definitely play a role there. I know what Levante's talking about. He's a little stiff in the lower body is what he's trying to get at. But, there's a lot of guys that stiff in the lower body that can get the damn job done.
Yeah, so. And I'm also not worried. Let me not use that. I'm anxious and interested to see Jeremy Chroma. Mm-hmm. That dude just had a motor. That dude had was it James Madison or where did he go?
James Madison.
Yeah, James Madison.
One of the old head coach from Holy Cross just took over 2 years ago, so he coached him. But when watching his film, he played with an attitude, an edge, and not just the motor. Like you can have a motor that doesn't stop, but there's also playing with an attitude and an edge is a completely different thing. To have the attitude and the edge in addition to the motor, well, now you're cooking with grease. Now you're cooking, and that's what I'm talking about. There's a dog in him where he's very, you know what? The best way to put it, he's violent. He's very, very violent and relentless is the way I see Jeremy Chroma. And if he can do that, whew, man.
Wait, so are you saying if we can put him next to a Shamar Turner, like multiple offensive linemen, we get punched in the ding ding?
Yes. Yes. And that's the kind of edge that I want. Him, Shamar Turner, like those young man. I hope that he's able to eat because of Shamar Turner or Grady Jarrett or Javon Dexter or Montez Sweat. Like those guys, like Montez Sweat still got to be the double team dude. You still got a double team. And then when you got Grady Jarrett or Billings, you got to double team Billings. Otherwise, there's no one. And how many people get it? You got 4 rushers. You can't.
You're not double teaming Big Dex.
You can't exactly. So you can't have 8 blockers, and you know what I'm saying. So some of these guys got to eat. So the guy who is the least famous or the smallest name on that other edge is going to have to eat. You're going to have to beat your man one-on-one because it's going to be one-on-one because they're going to say, okay, who could hurt us the most? Okay, this guy, who could hurt us the least? Him? All right, he's single blocked all the time. And when you get that, that's what you got to eat. You got to make your name. Be like, nah, homie, you better double team me because it's going to be a long day for your quarterback. So, that's where the Jeremy Chroma, I'm hoping the Jeremy Chroma comes in like that just because I just liked his tape because of the nastiness and the motor that he played with.
Hey, by the way, my guy Bishop, Keith Harris, man, we got to get you and Samo on the show at the same time. Mix it up with these guys, man. I would love to see it, man. It'd be a good show because we all come from the same school of thought. You know what I mean? We just everywhere talking about it. But this conversation right here is okay. Let's just slide on over here. I was about to get deep in the thought, man. Y'all come on, holler at me, man. We get on here and mix it all up, man. But the safety conversation, Tysheen Johnson from Oregon and Major Burns from LSU. One of those guys ain't gonna make it. One of those guys possibly can get a practice squad from as low as a practice squad job, or to get on a special teams role, or maybe even compete for a third safety role or something like that, fourth safety.
And you said Major Burns and who?
Tysheen Johnson
out of Oregon.
Okay.
from the Shucky Ducky Quack Quacks.
Oh man, I don't
He's
know.
a little on the shorter side, but he can ball.
I like the length that Major Burns brings to the table. I think that's probably what's going to keep him around. But that secondary is deep, man. I don't know. Like, we need some love in the safety room, but man, I don't know what you do here. What do you think of the other two gentlemen who are vying for those positions? Tavarius Moore and Alex Cook. I don't know anything about Alex Cook. Right.
Yeah, wasn't Moore here at the end of last season, and then the other guy, Cook, was a free agent from Carolina, I believe.
Good call. That is where he's from. I think he spent some time in New York with the Giants as well. Wound up in Carolina and then came over here. This time around, like I said, I don't have much there for Alex Cook. I don't know. Tavarius Moore, we saw a little bit of him last year. I'm also a little bit I'm wondering what goes on with John Owens, man. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a decent backup, but he's not a star.
Precisely. I could see a Major Burns taking over where Mrs. Simone Biles
Not called him Mr. Biles.
Oh, Mr. Biles. Sorry, did I call him Mrs.? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I think Major Burns might be able to squeeze his way into that strong safety role. Like that's.
I think the guy that people are sleeping on in this camp again is Elijah Hicks. I definitely think he slides.
I think he's got his position locked.
I think he slides into third safety. Easy.
I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. Again, we saw a lot of Elijah Hicks when Jaquan went down, and I think he did a pretty good job, man. I would have to agree. I think he did a great job. I think he's safety number 3, whether free or strong. I think he plays both pretty decently as required. The question is behind Hicks. What do you do with Owens? Do you keep that situation going on? I'm not sure. I have a strange feeling Major Burns is going to step up to the plate in this respect and maybe be the fourth safety.
What about maybe moving Zach Frazier to safety?
See, now we're having real conversation, Sean, right? Like maybe Zach Frazier goes over there, maybe Terrell Smith goes over there.
Well, that's what I mean. Because you got DBs. You got I think Tyreek Stevenson is going to have a bounce back year. You got Spidey Man and you got Jalen Johnson. All right, you still got Terrell Smith back there. You still got there's another cornerback as well.
I was about to lead y'all into this conversation here, man, because
all right, wait, are you leading into? Because I could just real quick read off the cornerback room.
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't do that yet, because I'm going to a couple of guys that we picked up before we got into the draft situation, and that was Sean Wade. We picked him up, and we also picked up Nick McLeod, who I think is a real he's a Swiss Army knife. He's one of those guys who can line inside, can line up outside. They both play corner, but we're talking about a conversation about bolstering up that safety unit in case a couple of these guys don't work. We're talking about Tysheen Johnson or Major Burns in case they're not giving the looks that we're looking for. We got Wade, who I think you probably leave him at corner, but Nick McLeod, I definitely feel like is a guy that you can probably get some run at safety. I think if I'm Dennis Allen, I'm gonna give several of these guys safety reps in this camp. Several of them, especially those two in particular, just to see if we can get them to be a little more versatile. Same thing you're doing with Kyler Gordon to see what you can get out of him if he can run at some safety. Why not run some of these other guys?
No, Kyler Gordon, don't put him in safety.
He's going to play some safety.
I've been saying the same thing, man. I've been saying the same thing. Use blitz the hell out of him. You know what I mean? Use him as a Swiss Army knife from where he's positioned today. I wouldn't put him back there. And if I'm going to put him back there, it's only maybe in the free situation if Kevin Byard goes down. Maybe free. Maybe. You know, I wouldn't put him as a Jaquan Brisker replacement by no stretch of the imagination. I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think that's something you can do with Kyler.
I'm like Samo, man. I definitely don't think Zai is going to be moving to no safety. I don't think.
Well, hold on. Before we get too far, Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Kyler Gordon, Terrell Smith, Nashawn Wright, Jeremiah Walker, Amir Speed, Josh Blackwell, Alex Cook, Nick McLeod, Sean Wade, and Zay Frazier. That's the cornerback room.
Blackwell played well last year. The reason I say move it to safeties because safeties are gonna be tested when they go, you go 4 or 5 wides, and with Zay Frazier's size, I put him on a tight end at 6'3", as opposed to a 5'9", 5'11", 5'10" guy, 5'10" corner. Give me him. He's probably one of the bigger guys against a tight end, which is why I asked if you want to put him in safety.
Nashawn Wright, 6'4",
6'4", brother. This is what I'm about to say.
Nashawn Wright has corners, man. We got some big corners now.
Yeah, Nashawn White's a big boy too. I
think some of that is intentional, kids. I think a lot of that's intentional, not for just the cornerback position. I think the kind of coach that we have, I think he wants to see how dynamic some of these guys can play. If you got to throw them out there at safety, if you got a couple of safeties hurt during the game, one game, okay, who do I feel comfortable with throwing him at strong safety or throwing him at free safety? Like if I was a coach, Sean, it wouldn't be really many, if any. Jalen Johnson, maybe that's probably the only guy I can think of right off the top of my head. Josh Blackwell, because he's a small dude. Those are the two guys that I would exempt from that experiment. These other guys, I'm talking about Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, Kyler. I'm running them all. Every last one of them. Give them some run because you never know what the roster will kind of wield you down to because injuries happen, knocking on wood. I'll give them some run, man. I would, man. I think that's a good strategy. So I think
we have more than enough safeties, bro. I think we have more than enough safeties who we got Brisker back. Jonathan Owens is all right. Give me the list of the other safeties because I'm blanking right now.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, the safety room is. That changed my tab. My bad. All right, we got Jaquan Brisker, Quanty B, Kevin Byard, Jonathan Owens. Do not call him Mr. Biles. Elijah Hicks, Tavarius Moore, Tysheem Johnson, and Major Burns.
Forgot about Byard. Yeah. So I think we're good.
Alex,
we're okay with the safety position. I think because what I like about Kevin Byard is his football IQ. I really like his football IQ. So I think we're okay there. I mean, obviously you want to have an influx of youth in with a KG vet, but I think we're okay with the safety position.
As long as Jaquan Brisker is on the field, we're good to go, man. That's really, you know what I mean? Kevin Byard's amazing. He had a great season last season. I like Elijah Hicks in a backup capacity. Worst come to worst.
Yeah.
So now what we've done is there's kind of two flavors of DB on this team, and I'm just now like cluing in. So the original DBs are all like 6 feet tall, all of them. Some of them might be a little bit 5'11", but we'll just call them 6. You know what I mean? So we're talking about Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Josh Blackwell as well. Like the vast majority of the guys who are actually starting are 6 foot even. But this new influx of talent is a little bit taller. 6'1" on the low or 6'3" and above. So maybe there's some prerequisite for height. And like if I was a DB guy, I'm always thinking like some height is a good thing to have in the secondary, maybe that's just sort of DA. Like DA is a secondary guy too, right? Like he's a secondary guy.
He knows what he's doing out there, man. I'm telling you, there's some intention in getting some of these bigger guys.
That's what I'm saying. I think that was a purposeful move.
If I'm coming in and there's a possible 3 or 4 person in your personnel to turn over, it could possibly be 3 or 4 guys that you may have to turn over, whether it be in the cornerback room, the safety room, wherever. If you got to turn that over, bring in some guys that can be kind of tweeners is kind of what I'm getting at. And so that's why I lean heavy into Nick McLeod, who I think has some great NFL experience. And I think that guy, and he's a great – another thing to know about this is why I give Nick McLeod more of the upper hand than most any of these guys we're talking about, is because he has great value as a gunner on special teams. Great gunner. So
yeah, that's huge. They're definitely going to be focusing on special teams, which I think is awesome. I think they're going to have both units good, and you got to have that third unit. I mean, hell, we're from Chicago, so we know how amazing special teams units can be, and how much they can impact a game. You know what I mean? Devin Hester, Jerry Zuma, the guy, the Thunder from down under, the punter. So Cairo Santos. So we understand how important special teams is. So yeah, I think that you mentioning him is going to be. I think that's going to where a lot of these youngsters are going to be able to make the team. I think that's their only way. I think we're good with many of the positions on defense, and I think that your way to get a good look and maybe keep you on, and maybe if not, keep you on a practice squad or keep you around is gonna have to be through special teams, because we do have a lot of talent. We do.
That's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you got some very, very talented guys that will not make this team. And if the fast track to you making the team is to blaze it up on special teams, and blaze it up on special teams, you should do. Number one. Number two, man, it's been a while since we were in this position to where we had enough depth and enough talent on the team, or super duper talented guys like Sean Wade, guys like that, first round pick type guys, might not even make the goddamn team. You talking about this is where you want to be as a team when you're putting together personnel. When guys you can say out loud, full throated with a big chest, Sean Wade may not make this team. What? Sean Wade was a first round pick, bro.
Well, but that's what we are. Well, I'm happy about that. This year, 3-4 of polls of Ryan polls. Now we have, depth in rooms where we're talking about the fringes of these rooms. It's like, hey, this guy may not make it. This guy's in a bubble. Hey, there's competition going on. Maybe not running back to everybody's content, but on this defense and this secondary specifically, there are many big bodies, many talented bodies, fast bodies, and bodies with experience that are all hungry and looking for a roster spot. And being that this is wide open, it's like, who wants it? Here's a steak. Y'all go get it. You know what I'm saying?
But that's that's the whole thing, though, Trev, is they said in no uncertain terms they're going to create competition, and voila, they've created competition big time. You look at all the people in the chat talking about when was the last time we had an embarrassment of riches in the secondary. Nomad, you said we might cut a former first round player. All right, that's the type of stuff that you want. That's the type of thing that builds championship organizations. When you can cut former first round players because there's too much depth at that position. All right, that first of all, that means there's a lot of competition. And that's what we need. We need competition. We need the cream to rise to the top. And the great part about competition is if you're the backup, man, you're pissed. And whenever you get some time, because you're going to get some time, you're going to rotate you in. When you're going to get your times, when you got to make those plays. And competition breeds success. And when was the last time we had that situation in the secondary? I don't remember.
Nah.
So, hey, Sean, just imagine this. You work your black hind quarters off all season. during the season, all day in practice, every day in practice, just to get a possibility at 2 or 3 plays in a game.
Yeah.
Talking about some of these fringe guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if you had enough to you to stick to the team. If you show them enough on special teams, they might. I like what he's doing. This is real, man. You talking about keeping your body in optimal condition and shape just to get 2 or 3 looks. Think about that, guys.
And hopefully, a lot of those guys heard Tom Brady when he talked about it, and he was at Michigan, and he was 3rd or 4th on the depth chart, and he was saying, he goes, there were no reps for him, and he'd get maybe 3 or 4 reps a day in practice. And the guys, I forgot who he said, he said, make those the best freaking reps ever. Says, okay, so he'd run in all full of, excitement. Hey, here's the play, blah, 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 wing right, blah, 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 and make a play. And then all of a sudden, then you go from 3 and 4 reps to 4 to 6 reps, 6 to 8 reps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it just happens like that because the way that you attack and the attitude that you go in there with makes a big difference. If I'm a coach and I'm seeing you're fired up to get in there, and you stick your nose in there, you're gonna be around the ball. Now, you might not make the tackle, but you're always in the. Put it this way, hey, as a defensive player, Nomad, you know this more than anybody. You always want to be in that screen.
Hell yeah,
you always got to be in that screen because if not, that's a loaf.
You better be in there. You better be in there.
Got to be in that screen, boy.
Man, look, man. Let me tell you guys something. The effort that these guys, you're talking about the difference between a guy making $800,000 in a year and probably bringing home somewhere around $400,000 or $500,000 of it, having to pay for everything and any and everything, rent and car and all that kind of stuff. And it's a lot of money to be had just for a couple of reps. And those couple 2 or 3 reps can change everything if you're about it. But we're talking about a really good. This is part of the conversation why I feel like the Bears will do well this year, because they have this group and this unit to give them a baseline while this quarterback is learning this offense, getting a grasp of it, and getting used to playing with this plethora of guys that he's playing with now and learning how to make those guys effective. This is what's going to keep us where we need to be. If you guys want to know the truth about how football goes, that damn defense is going to stabilize how well you function against the rest of these teams. That's why this conversation needs to be had. But kids, I'm going to pass this one to you so I can go grab something right quick, man. But Terrell Smith is a conversation definitely that needs to be had. It's a guy that we've been talking about for a year. And because Flus gave him reps at safety when he was here. I think that same thing could happen in this camp with Dennis Allen. I don't know how you all feel about that. Do you like him at corner, or would you like to see him get some range to him and get some run at safety? It ain't gonna do nothing to make him a little bit better, in my opinion. But let's see. Let me hear you guys' take on
it. I just want to see him on the field more frequently. Is really my 2 cents on this. I think he's a very talented individual. I think he's proved that every time he's gotten on the field. He was in relief for Tariq Stevenson for the better part of last season, especially during the weeks where he was in punishment or what have you. In comes Mr. Smith, and he has a pretty decent showing in both of those games, as well as as Nomad was stating, in safety capacity when Jaquan went down 2 years ago, not so much last year. I'm just wondering, just the name Jonathan Owens kind of jumps out to me, and I wonder if you stick with that, or do you determine whether you get a little bit more out of the existing players that you have? And under the same pretense, Terrell Smith's name jumps out to me. I think he's a guy that you can really get a lot more out of. I also think you can get a lot more out of Kyler Gordon. I just don't think it's at the safety position. That's just me. I think maybe you line him up on the wings sometimes. You know what I mean? Like that's my thoughts. If Tariq was down, maybe you have Kyler double dip. But honestly, I'd like to see more of Terrell Smith. We'll keep it with Terrell.
At safety?
I would like to see him there too. I think it would be a great.
Strong or free?
I think he can play both.
So, question now. Well, with that said, do you think if it came down to it, with the depth that we got going, and your mentioning of Owens, if Terrell Smith can do what Jonathan Owens can do, do you give Smith his spot?
Personally, I would.
Okay, I just jumped back in here, man. Let me say this, because I think it's a lot of people who saw Terrell Smith the way I saw Terrell Smith. I thought he was a great pickup. I still do. I think minus a few injuries and just not being available, that comes with the territory.
Well, he was out there kissing them scallywags.
Yeah, whatever he was doing. I don't know nothing about all that.
Because he got down like King Booker, got to get that the Q-tip up the pee-pee hole. Check out and make sure he was all right.
Oh no. But whatever happened there, I don't want to know no more about that. I'll tell you this. I don't think people should. I'm talking about us as fans. I'm talking about the fan base, every one of the Nomaniacs and Super Nomaniacs. I wouldn't look at it as, okay, a demotion because you're talking about moving Terrell Smith to safety and giving him some run at safety. That's not the case. I think if I'm him, I'm going to be at the coach's ass and be like, hey, dog, when you going to give me some run at safety? I want to make myself even more valuable all the time. I'm going to ask for some of that run. If I was Terrell Smith, that's what I would be doing. You got a regime change. These guys didn't draft you. So I think he should be running towards that. I don't know what you guys think about that.
That's a great point, Nomad. With a new regime change, you got to go and say, hey, where can I make an impact? If it's too crowded on the corners, let me go to safety. Let me do something. You know what I mean? If I feel like I'm buried, yeah, that's a great idea. And hats off to him if he decides to make that move and go up to the coaching staff and say that, because that makes you more valuable. That makes you so much more valuable. Like, okay, this guy's willing to do anything, and that could be the difference. That could be the difference. You making a squad and you bouncing around the league on practice squad to practice squad.
All right, I tell you what, man. I promised myself to, and this is just not for me, but I'm talking about you guys here. I don't know what everybody has to do tomorrow, but I would say this: let's put a pin in this conversation, because I have probably another 18, 20 more things to talk about, particular stuff to talk about. And I know we ain't going to be able to get to it. And I want to get us out of here because I know guys got stuff to do. Sean's got a show in the morning. Kids has got a job and, all that kind of stuff. So how about this, man? You guys want to have this conversation again Wednesday, or when y'all want to do this again? I'm open to a conversation.
Well, so it's time for this on Extra Sauce.
Yeah, Wednesday night, 8:00 Central.
All right. Because I'm pissed off that I didn't get to all my stuff, but that's what happens, man. When you got passionate people that love the Bears, this is a lifestyle for us, man. I just want y'all to know that this is a lifestyle for us. Every single individual that you see here on the screen, including me, everybody chooses this as a lifestyle. We choose to give you guys this content, and we work at it to make sure that we're on point and accurate about what we say. So never, ever take any of this stuff for granted. I'm going to pass it around to kids for some pleasantries so we can round this show off, man.
All right. We're going to round it out like this, man. We're going to start with the legit Pack fan. Absolutely zero love for you, FGB. And remember, tides turn, right? There was a time back in the day when we used to stomp the Packers, and I mean for decades. It was like a thing.
Yes.
Right? It was a thing for decades. Remember Don the Magic Mikowski? Yeah, them days.
Yep.
The Magic Man? Yeah, them days. It's been a long time since his name has been uttered, right? There's been a very large resurgence in Green Bay with respect to football, and you owe that to a certain Mr. Hallis to begin with. So I'm just going to remind y'all over there in Wisconsin. That shit has a way of flipping over. All right. So we'll see what it looks like. And I think that tide may have begun to turn, starting with the final game of this past season. So we'll see how things work out. But I have a strange feeling the Bears will be laughing last. That being said, big ups to the rest of the Super Nomaniacs out there and the Nomaniacs. Thanks for coming through. Shouting out my guy Samo, who's out there holding it down with us. Shout out to the Bishop for holding it down with us. Big love to FFG Style for being out there as well. I didn't see Don Beer, but he gets about as much love as legit Packers fan does. Zero love. Who's out there? Crimson's out there holding it down with us right to the bitter end. Florida Bears fans out there, shout out to you. Thanks for coming through. Remember, give a little bit of love to the homies here, a.k.a. Keds the Canuck, a.k.a. Triple R, a.k.a. the SuperBack underneath me. We all have things going on. I know SuperBack got a show tomorrow morning. I'm multi-streaming right now, and we've got Sports Chicago Style. By all means, check out each and every one of these channels for different reasons or all for the same reason. I don't care. Give them some love. Give them some likes. Give them some subscribes.
And y'all give me a thumbs up if y'all want to see baby kids on a t-shirt.
All right, put baby kids on the t-shirt.
Baby kids. I want to see baby kids so I can get those baby kids Zerberts.
See, he likes baby kids.
I get those baby kids Zerberts.
Your baby kids was a skinny baby. He didn't look like that. But anyhow, so much for skinny baby. Shout out to Kevin Scott. Thanks for coming through. Jay Grizz, Patty Jr., King Booker. Thanks for coming through as per normal. Shout out to the good minister Charles Johnson. Who else we got out there? I saw AC Adam, Mr. Mayhem came through. Both of y'all came through. Thanks for coming through. Oh, Cloud Chasers Radio. Always good to have you, sir. Thank you as well. Am I missing anybody? There's a bunch more, I'm sure. Cornelius Squalls, number two No Maniac. Big ups to you, Cornelius. Shout outs to Dante Purify for being with us tonight. Levante Rogers for keeping it popping in the chat. Yeah, I think that just about does it, man. We'll call it a night. Thank you all for coming through and spending some good time with the good homies here at the Nomad Network.
Baby kids getting a lot of thumbs up. Baby kids getting a lot of thumbs up.
Get those baby
kids. All right.
Hey, did you ever pull up that picture of Ma Dukes with her jumpers on?
You know what? For the life of me, I can't find it.
Don't worry about it. We'll get it. We'll get it, Sean.
Okay, I said it to the other one too.
I can't function, man. If you didn't know, man, my damn computer is shit, and the Nomaniacs have come through for me, and I should be able to get. I asked them for some help, and they gave me some help, man. I should be able to get a new unit in the next 24 to 48 hours because they're great to us over here on this channel, man. I love these guys, man, so much.
Blessings.
Yeah, I don't see nothing over here. I'm looking again just for sake.
I sent it to the Nomad Pod and Nomad Pod Live. I sent it to the second one as well. So
that's where I'm at.
Check your spam.
And probably look at the spam.
In the spam?
Yeah, look at spam. Especially with Sean. I don't know why your shit goes there.
Don't love the Sean. It's in the spam. Would you believe that? All right, Sean. I got Mama SuperBack here coming in hot.
And one time, Trips, your shit was there. I had to go find it there.
Boom. There she is. The charms are fire, though.
You're just a wee little thing.
That's awesome.
That's nice as shit, Sean. I like that, man.
Look at the coordination, though. The red, the black, the gray. Look at y'all all coordinated and shit.
That's nice.
That's what's up.
That is so nice, man.
That's what's up.
That little lady can bogart your ass, man. I know she did at some point in her life.
Man, dude, they call her the warden when she worked at the Chicago Public Schools because she meant business. All you Spanish speaking people, she's una chingona. There's just this hardcore, man. I mean, so she had to.
She got down some chaklas.
Man, no, because chanclas my head was too big, my ass was too big, So it went from spanking me with her hand, that my ass got too big, to spanking me with a leather belt. My ass got too big, went to the extension cord. My ass never got too big for that extension cord. That joker hurt.
Now, maybe it's a cultural thing, but did you ever have to go out and pick a switch?
No.
Hmm.
She had leather belts. She had the extension cord. Like I said, when my ass got too big, so I was and you heard if you ever got hit with the extension cord, you heard that sucker coming.
Ooh.
Okay.
And it would leave those hella that worked it up like keloids, last for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Damn.
One of these days, man, and we all will face this at some point. One of these days, you will wish for the day that she could beat the shit out your ass the way she beat your ass when you needed it. Because she raised you right, man. She raised you right, and she made you a responsible human being in this world. And that's the only job a parent has, is to make sure they raise a responsible individual in this world that knows how to move. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, she's gonna live with you for the rest of your time, no matter what.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's funny because I tease her. I'm like, you got about another 20 years, lady, and then it's been a good run. It's been a good run at that point. So,
All
but
Are you the only child?
I am.
Okay.
So,
Man. Hey, dog, I'm gonna start being better with my moms, man. She rough, man. If I start doing more and being available more, the more and more she wants, and it's like, holy shit! Now, come on, now, I'm dissing for a reason, because the more I give, the more you want. Now, damn it, I'm only one motherfucker. You know, that's just how it is. But
Well,
yeah,
I will tell you right now, you need to spend as much time as you can with her now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the little bit of advice that I'll give you. I see Sean doing the same thing, and man, I wish I could do the same thing, man. My mom was awesome.
Look at Patty. I know.
I'm
Patty
sure
knows.
y'all moms is great.
I know Patty knows. She said, Sean, you're the best. She did an awesome job with you.
There you go.
thanks, Patty. Appreciate it.
That is it, man. That is it. You can pull that down for a minute while we finish this up, man, because I can go on for another hour talking about what mamas mean.
It's a family affair.
I know what mamas mean to me, man. You know, so
It's a family affair.
I can go on and on about it, man. But Trips, you got Sean. Did anybody else get a chance to close out? I think it was your turn.
Go ahead, Sean.
Just want to say thanks, everybody, all my people, all my sports owners who came over to check me out. My man Junior, Patty, and I see a lot of familiar faces. Jay Grizz up in his mug from Philly. You in Philly? Or you back down in Tampa, Papa? Where you at? You know, and then it was good to see Bishop in there, Samo, man, a whole bunch, everybody else, AC Adam, King Booker World, a lot of guys who started on this show and followed and started following me on my network. I appreciate it. It's good to see those guys in the chat. And
legit Packers, man, we'll slap the shit out you.
Yeah. Actually, I'm actually going to go back up across the cheese curtain again on Friday, 4th of July. I'm going out to Summerfest again. Chicago's playing the group Chicago, and that's one of the groups I haven't seen.
Is Peter Secure live?
So yeah, so I love Chicago. This is one of the last.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Think it was the 4th of July. And if you heard we were celebrating, that's a worldwide lie.
Man, so I got to go to. I went up last week. So I went up the first week. Actually, the first day was June 19th. I got to see the Isley Brothers.
Man, you're doing some big things there, Sean.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you,
it's big.
It's a free stage, free concert. So they're not in the because if you've ever been to Summerfest, they got 5 free stages and then one stage like with the big names. You got to pay extra for those tickets, but they're on a free stage. And man, one group I wanted to see, the horns and everything. It's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be awesome. Then you can smoke cigars. They sell cigars there. You can smoke cigars walking around because you're outdoor. You're literally right on the lakefront. So yeah, I'm gonna head up there the 4th of July. Come back Saturday, and yeah. So
hey, your mom's tiny as hell, man. I can put her on my shoulders and walk around with her.
Hey,
bro,
hey,
she's
careful
4 foot 10.
She's almost a midget or a little person.
Yeah.
Somehow we've come full circle and gone back over there. Hey, since we're talking about the 4th of July, it's Canada Day, which is virtually our version of 4th of July. Big ups to all Canadians out there. Guaranteed write-off week for both America and Canada is all I really have to say. A lot of drunk humanity this week, so be safe out there, folks. Enjoy what you enjoy, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Oh, shit. Is Wednesday Canada Day? Because if that's the day, I ain't gonna see y'all at all.
Hey, just
here we go, man. Here we go. I get a Mountie on your ass, man. Shut the hell up.
Thanks for the support that y'all give to the Nomad Network, to the channel Kids of Canuck, to Sports Zone Chicago, and to Sports Chicago Style, and to everybody here domestically. Hey, y'all know they tripping. So y'all be safe out there, and if somebody roll up on you with a mask claiming to be ICE and they ain't got no ID, you do what you got to do and protect yourself and your people. Kids and all your brethren up there with the elbows up, sorry that we tripping. With y'all as a country. No offense.
Hey, you know what? As long as my stocks are all right, I don't give a shit. So,
okay.
So stocks is good right now. That's where I'm at.
Okay, so just be safe out there to everybody, because the 4th of July is supposed to represent constitutional things that are in question and are being pushed to the limits right now. So y'all stay vigilant, be participants within your communities, and don't let shit slide, because freedoms are a very precious thing. And the more you lose, the less they come back. So y'all don't be falling for that okie doke out there, and stop tripping. So with that said, go ahead, Nomad.
I got some goddamn fool outside my window tripping. You hear that?
See?
Hey, I go out there, slap the hell out of you. Well,
the Nomad out there in the window, like he's on the cover of KRS-One, by any means necessary.
Man, listen, you all, hey, listen, this is a good time of year. This is when everybody's trying to have a good time. One thing I would leave you all with this. I actually thought about this close a little bit, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, because I believe this, man. I believe I've reached an age now, and I think everybody here has reached a certain age, but I'm reaching that age now where I can learn from my elders and start teaching some of these younger people how to have a better time. It's a lot of younger people running around here with big guns on their hips looking for opportunities. There's a lot of people out here that's looking for an opportunity to ruin your good time. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people that can't stand because they're on the lower rung of the frequency. They're way down on the frequency level. You're at this level where you know how to have a good time and you're vibrating at a high level. You got to be aware of the people that vibrate on that low frequency, and they are looking for an opportunity to be negative because they can't relate to that good time that you're having because of the frequency level that they're on. They don't understand it. They're like, why are these people so goddamn happy? And we're saying from our perspective, why are you so goddamn negative? To find the bridge between those two things is to touch somebody. It is. It's to touch someone and to try to reach out and get someone to raise their level of frequency so that they can have an opportunity. They can have an opportunity to have a future. You get what I'm saying? Before we get out of here,
somebody's hand make this world a better place if you can.
I just threw a whole pot of hot dogs at you.
And I bet they was delicious.
All right, man. Listen, that's what I wanted to say about that before we get out of here. Is just be aware that there's a lot of people out here on the lower rung of the frequency that don't get why you're so happy. They don't get it. Why you're so positive, because they're in a bad place, and somebody got to touch them and lift them up. So if you can do something this holiday season while everybody's out there having a good time, if you see somebody out there that you feel like that you can, all right, let me pull this young brother, young sister, or whoever it is into this mix and let them have a good time and let them feel what a good time is about, it's probably worth doing. Show them a good time. You know what I mean? A good time is a good time, and I don't care who's having it. Let them have some fun. I would just say that before I get out of here and leave you guys with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, we are